Hello, everybody. How y'all doing today? This is a seminar on the spiritual effects of substance abuse. The spiritual effects of substance abuse. You know, it's really interesting to see how many people are doing drugs of all kinds, right? Whether they're prescribed drugs or illegal drugs. But there are things that happen, right, in the body and spiritually. And that's what I really want to talk about, the spiritual piece. When it comes to what happens to you when you're doing these types of drugs. And I'm really referring to the addictive, mood altering types of drugs. And not so much, say, marijuana, but the highly addictive kind, such as crack cocaine, regular cocaine, any type of narcotic, right? Be it prescribed or not. Any type of hallucinogen, right? Like acid, LSD, right? Mushrooms or shrooms, right? Any type of other drugs, right? That you might find like methamphetamines, you know, these types of drugs, heroin, right? And many, many, many others, barbiturates and things, opiates of all kinds. These things can have incredible and damaging effects on the human spirit, right? On the human spirit. And they can compromise you. Alcohol is another one, right? That people don't think of. But alcohol abuse will do the same thing, right? And it's addictive, right? So I want to talk about these, right? Lots and lots of kids are using drugs. I've heard of kids as young as 9 years old doing drugs, right? It's really, really difficult to deal with. And we'll get into it. What happens to the spirit? There's a lot that happens to the spirit when you're dealing with types of drugs. First off, you end up with a situation where, A, you're out of control. Anytime you're doing a mood altering substance, you literally are surrendering your will, your ability to think, your ability to act appropriately. You've given that up. But what are you giving it up to? Well, spirits. Literally, I kid you not. When you're drunk, right? And you're on these drugs, you're literally giving your will up to another entity's will. That's what you're doing. Let me repeat that because it's so important that you hear me say this. When you're doing these drugs, you're literally giving up your will, right? You're giving up your ability to choose, right? To somebody else. That's it. It's like driving a car down the highway and midway in transit, you take these drugs, and that's literally like getting in the back seat of that moving vehicle. Somebody's got to drive that car. And if you're incapacitated, You can't drive. You don't have the ability. You don't have the capacity to drive that vehicle. So somebody's going to drive it, right? And I'm not talking about another human being. There's going to be a spirit that's going to assume control of that vehicle. And that vehicle is your body. That vehicle is your body. You are now out of control of your being. And you literally handed over the keys to another entity. That's what happens. When you get drunk, when you get high on stuff, you're out of your mind, you taking ayahuasca or whatever it is. You literally surrender and you're saying, here, take the keys. Take the keys. I'm not driving anymore. Somebody's driving. Somebody's driving that car and you're in it. What do you think is going to happen? Well, if you're not in control of that vehicle, that other entity is in control of that vehicle, you can have a massive accident. You can have a super massive accident, which means your life is in shambles, right? You're literally wrecking your life. And do you think you can get your keys back? Nope. That demon that gets a hold of you because you've given your keys over, you surrendering your will to that demon and that drug, they're not going to give you the keys back. No, that ain't going to happen. I'm telling you right now, that's not going to happen. You're going to have to fight like hell. Let me repeat myself. You're going to have to fight like hell to get those keys back, to get control of yourself. It's going to be the fight of your life. Why? Because you surrendered your will. Your will. You said, hey, just take this. I'm getting high. Just take this. I'm getting drunk. Okay. The spirit, the demons are hearing that. They just assume control over you, your temple, your body. Oh, they're in control now because, see, they don't have bodies. The demons don't have bodies. There was a cosmic war, man, y'all, and the demons don't have bodies, you know. So guess what? They want a body, and you surrendering your body. Oh, sure, Sally. Take the keys. You gave up control. And they're right there waiting. Oh, you want me to drive? Okay. Catch is, you ain't getting the keys back no more. You can kiss that goodbye. Let me tell you something. You go into recovery, 12-step or whatever program you get into, hospital, whatever. Let me tell you a little secret about this. You can get dry, you can get clean, you can get sober, live a sober lifestyle, but I'm telling you right now, that demon is steady knocking on. They steady fighting you for the keys. They steady fighting you for the keys because you gave up your control. You gave up your ability to choose. You gave up willing your ability to control. Your will that God gave every human being, you surrendered. You said, oh, I'm just going to be a backseat passenger. I'm done driving. I'm giving up my control over myself. And so the demon's like, okay, great. They're not going to give you control. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight. You're going to have to fight like it's your life. And it is your life. Because that demon wants what you gave it. And it ain't going to stop. It's not going to quit. It's not going to keep. It's going to be a fight for the rest of your life. That's true. I ain't saying that you can't win. No, I'm not saying that. It's easy to keep a devil out of your life, right? Than to kick the devil out of your life once the devil's got into your life. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. That's why people got to go to AA meetings, NA meetings, and what other kind of meetings all the time, because that devil's still fighting them, and everybody knows it. You don't want to say it, but everybody knows it. It's a fight. You can be sober for 50 years. You can be clean for 50 years, and that demon is still trying to get the keys. Still trying to get the keys. It's got your mind. It's got your mind. And it's fighting for control every day. See, that's a very hard task. You can't do it on your own. You can't do it on your own. Ain't no way. That's why you need God. That's why 12 steps is based on God, right? Yeah, because you can't do it on your own. This is a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual matter. See, it's not just, I got to fight the cravings. No. It's a spiritual thing. Manifested in the physical. Let me just say it again. This is spiritual battle, and it is a battle. Manifested in the physical, as old people used to say, in the flesh. In the flesh. Yeah. Yeah. It is no joke. You don't want to mess with it. That's why it's better just to not get involved with the dope thing. It's far better to leave that business alone. Avoid it at all costs. Even when it comes down to addictive medications that your doctor will prescribe you for pain. If you got to take it, but take it sparingly. The pain is not going to kill you. It won't. It won't. But the drugs will. The drugs will. The drugs will kill you. They will kill you deader than a doorknob. Yeah, they will. They will do you in. And that's what the devil wants. The enemy wants that. Wants it. You know, that's the problem. Take this drug. You'll feel better. Oh, that's temporary. That's temporary. Because, see, then you're going to have to fight that battle. Yeah. I mean, why? You know, why? Why go through that? You know, that's just some stuff that's one more thing you don't need. Fight every day. Fight every day for your sanity. Fight every day for your security, right? For your state of mind, emotionally, spiritually. That's a lot. Every day you got to fight. You got to fight. You don't know. I remember working at a shelter. I ain't gonna say what name it is, but it was a shelter in Houston. And I used to work at that shelter back in the 90s. And this guy, he was like in our program, and this dude was like real cool. He'd gone to chef school, and he was just, a wonderful culinary chef. He was amazing. And I really just, enjoyed watching him work. He ran that kitchen well. But I remember the day he graduated from the program, right? And he was about to leave. He was standing just inside the doors of the shelter. And I was walking to my office, and I stopped and I said, "Hey, so-and-so, let's call him Philip. Hey, Philip," I said, "what's going on?" And I just saw him just staring at the front doors, like from the inside of the building. And I said, "What's going on?" And he says, He says, man, I'm just terrified of what's awaiting me on the other side of those doors. That's what he said to me. I'll never forget it. That's been 30 years ago. I never forget it. He said, I am terrified of what's waiting on me on the other side of those doors, he said. And I said, wow, that's got to be an immense burden, an immense burden. You know, there's another guy, I won't call his name, but let's call him Joe. Joe worked for us. And Joe came into my office. I buzzed him. He came into my office. And Joe gave me a story. He told me a story. He says, times, he said, one day he said, I quit smoking crack. I said, how'd you do that, Joe? He said, I quit smoking crack. This is how it happened. He says, I got out of prison. And he says, I wanted a better life for myself. I wanted what other people had. He said, I wanted a wife. He ain't never been married. I want children. He ain't had no children. He was in his 30s or something like that. And he says, I wanted these things. I wanted a house. I wanted a car. And I ain't have nothing. And I was on crack cocaine on the streets doing drugs before and ended up in prison. And he said, I had to make a choice. He says, I had to make a choice on who I was going to serve. That right there that's real. I had to make a choice on who I was going to serve. He said, I had a crack pipe in one hand and the Bible in the other. And he said, I hit that crack pipe and I looked at that Bible and he said, I made my choice. And he said, he laid that crack pipe down and walked away from it and never picked it up again. The thing is, it was still a struggle because although he was sober at the time he was telling me this story, Joe still dealt with the demons of using crack cocaine. And so he had to change his environment totally. He had to change where he worked. So he worked for a Christian organization, which was great. He had the director to test him every Friday. Give him a test. We had panel tests. You urinate in the cup. It's a panel test. And, the panel test tests for all types of drugs, opiates, marijuana, all kinds of stuff. Crack cocaine, barbiturates, benzos, whatever. And so every Friday. And I remember he said that the director said, Joe, you don't have to do this. You've been, out of jail a long time. You've been working for us for a long time. You don't have to do this anymore. And Joe told him, he said, no, sir, I have to do this. I have to be held accountable. Because if I don't, I'm afraid of what might happen. He had to cut all ties from the past, all of them. And he realized his dream. He realized he ended up with a kid, nice son, beautiful wife. Wife had a car. He had a car, nice house. He was living a dream. But look what he had to go through. Look what he had to endure, see? And so it was a spiritual battle. It doesn't mean that you can't win that battle. You can. Joe did. There are lots of people I've talked to in the past over the last 30 years who have successfully defeated the enemy. Let's just call it what it is. Defeated the enemy. Okay? But it's a battle. Just living life without drug addiction, that's a battle. And then you compound it with, I'm going to give up my authority over myself, my free will, to let this demon control me through his drug? Oh God, that's a whole nother thing. And like I said before, that demon is not going to willingly just let you drive again. They're not going to willingly just let you, oh, Chris, you want to take over again? Okay, here are the keys back. No, that ain't going to happen. You got to fight. You got to fight. You got to fight. Like them old Baptist women used to say, you got to watch, fight, and pray. Yes, you got to watch, fight, and pray. It's a battle. It's a battle. And so, better to keep the devil at bay and keep them out of your life. Keep them out of your body. Because see, the drug, you literally are taking it into your body. That's how it works, right? You don't drink alcohol by pouring the alcohol over the top of your head. Yeah, that's not how you get drunk, right? You don't get drunk by pouring alcohol on the top of your head. It don't work that way. You got to put the alcohol in your mouth, right? You got to put the alcohol in your mouth. You got to open your mouth up and invite it in. You got to open your mouth and invite that alcohol in. You just gave up your keys. See, you gave up control. Surrendered your will right there. See, that's what happened. You got to invite the cocaine in, right? You got to sniff it. That's inviting it in. Ooh, Lord have mercy. You got to invite it in. You got to take it inside of your body. Ooh, Lord Jesus. You got to pull it inside of you. Same thing with the needle. You got to draw it in. Right? Oh, Father in heaven. You're giving over your keys. You're giving over. God gave you the ability to choose. He gave you free will. And with that free will comes the ability literally to protect your soul. That's why we ought to pray. And you gave all that up to get high. You gave all that up to feel good for 5 minutes. You gave all of that up for 5 minutes of pleasure? Oh, no. See, that's when Satan got you. He got you good then. Because it's a battle. It's a battle. It's a battle. It's the fight for your life. No exaggeration. Y'all know it's true. Y'all know it's true. It's the fight for your life. And it's a fight every day. Why go through that? Save yourself. Save yourself some problems. Save yourself some big old problems. I'm in Texas, so save yourself some Texas-sized problems, all right? Why? Too many people done died at the hand of drugs, alcohol, prescription drugs. Just because you got a doctor, you got a pill pusher. That's what I call doctors. Sorry, doctors, but y'all need to be more responsible with what you do. You got just because you got the ability to write a prescription, don't mean that you ought to. And it definitely don't mean that you ought to write a prescription for something that could be addictive. Man, that ought to be the last thing you do. You should try every other thing in the world and then come to that, if it comes to that. Just saying. I'm not a doctor, but I mean, that's common sense, right? Why give somebody something addictive, so highly addictive, that they could really lose their life over that? Just saying. Well, what's behind all of this stuff? Why you use the drugs anyway? Chris, why do we go to the man on the corner? Why we going to the dope man anyway? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, the dope man is in business. He in business. He's in business because there's some things that human beings deal with that they don't want to deal with. And it's all about the mind right here. All about the mind. It's the emotion. Ain't that right? Think about this. Every time you ever get drunk or high, something happened up here first. Something said to you, I need you to relieve this pressure, this stress, this emotional pain. I need you to go get that drink. Yeah, that's what happened. I need you to put this substance in your body, right? I need you to ingest this, to shoot this right here up in your veins. That's what happened. That's what happened. Why? Because of trauma. Trauma. Trauma is the big bad wolf. Trauma is the boogeyman. Trauma is the boogeyman. Trauma is the big bad wolf. It's the boogeyman. Yes, it is. Because of that childhood trauma you had. That childhood trauma rocked your world. And all of a sudden you need some help. Well, go to the Lord. Ask the Lord to help you. But see, we get tripped up again. We get tripped up and we go not to the Lord. We go to the devil be whispering to you. Go on, get that over there. Try some of that right there. Could be your cousin. Could be your brother. Could be your sister. Could be your daddy. Could be your mama. Could be uncle somebody. Could be aunt somebody. Somebody that said to you, hey, Joe. Somebody said to you, hey, Joe, why don't you try this? Right? Why don't you try this? See, that's Satan talking through them people, through your friends, right? Maybe just in your mind. Go on over there and try that. That'll help you feel better. That's a lie from the pit of hell, because the battle is over your soul. That's how serious this is. The battle is over your soul. The battle is over your, it's through the mind. You know, Satan plays in your head, your emotions, your intellect, all at risk over a 5-minute high, over getting drunk. Why? You know, better you go to the Lord, pray, find somebody that's, you know, a brother in Christ, a sister in Christ, and talk to them. Talk to your pastor, right? I need you to pray with me. I'm having a hard time. Yeah. Better that. Talk it out. But no, we want to do something in the body that's going to cause ourselves maybe irreparable harm. Well, that's a big time dangerous game right there. That's a deadly game. And why get into it? But folk get into it because of trauma. Somebody touched me when I was little. Somebody raped me when I was little. Maybe I was an adult when it happened, or or, you know, somebody accosted me and somebody did something. And all of a sudden now the big solution comes to you, quote unquote, through the devil. And the big solution is, let me get high. No, that's not a solution. That's that's some big time exercise problems that you can't get rid of. You know, don't do it. Don't do it. If anybody listening to this, you know, if y'all thinking about doing it, getting high, getting drunk, just leave it go. Let it go. Walk away from it. For God's sakes, walk away from it. You don't need to do that because you've taken something into your body. You can't control it. Don't let the devil lie to you. You can't control it. There are people who get high and never write again a day in their life. I've seen it. I've seen it. I'm a clinician, I'm a therapist. I've seen it in hospitals. You know, people, you know, people lose their body functions and everything else. They can't get it back. Have seizure disorder, or, you know, can't get right. You know, yeah, they gave the keys over to the devil. Drive my car. I'm gonna sit in the back seat. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because the devil ain't gonna give the keys up automatically. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna fight the fight of your life every day. So what else? Well, you know, a lot of times, you know, we end up in a situation where, you know, this whole thing messes with you, this trauma piece, the boogeyman. But it's true. And you have trust issues, right? You have trust issues all of a sudden. I can't trust nobody. I got violated somehow or another. I can't trust nobody. Or you know, I call it disconnect. You disconnect from human beings through the trust thing. I'm violated. So guess what? I now have to be ultra vigilant, right? Because I got taken advantage of. I gave away my keys to my car. I decided to ride in the back seat, get high, get drunk, give up control of my life to these drugs. And now I'm having hell getting them back. Oh, of course you have hell. Of course you're going to have hell every day. See? And so now I can't trust nobody. That's just what Satan wants. He wants you not to trust nobody. He wants you to feel discombobulated. He wants you to feel disconnected. That's the point of it, see? That's why the trauma happened to you in the first place, because it's Satan trying to get you, trying to pull you in, lying to you, just say, come on over here. Come on over here, Joe. I got something good for you. He's a lie. He's a lie. He's trying to steal, kill, and absolutely destroy your life. That's what's up. And so you should, no matter how bad things get, you should never do the dope. Just leave it alone. Go find a therapist or a priest or somebody to talk to. You know, do something different. Don't do that. You know, because these things will cause you great pain. You won't have any way to deal with it. Well, you know what else? You guys, it's hard to reestablish what you lost, y'all. How do I get back what I lost? This dope is killing me. It's in my head. I've been sober for a year or two, 25, 30 years, but I still got this monkey on my back. It's a fight. But you can reconnect. You can reconnect, y'all, with God, right? With your human fellow man. You can reconnect. But the problem is It's going to be a fight. It's going to be, you can't be slipping. You can't be slipping for 5 seconds, because that's just how long it takes for the enemy to come right back in. See, it's hard enough when you ain't done no drugs, no alcohol. It's hard enough. But see, once that enemy get in you, oh, Lord Jesus. Okay, these are the types of sins that are most difficult to deal with. Is the kind that you invite into your own body. That's important, y'all. The sins that you invite into your body are extremely difficult to deal with. Spiritually, mentally, physically, all of the, that's a check D. In the multiple choice, check D, all of the above. Yes, all of the above. All of the above. But you can make it. You just got to change the way you function. You got to change the way you live. Right? Healthy living. A healthy prayer life. God can do anything. He can save you. He can keep you. He can keep you from doing dope. Right? Even if you've done it. He can keep you from doing it. Maybe you've done it your whole life. Maybe you've done it half a life. Maybe you just did it one time. Whatever. Your answers, you got to go to God in prayer. I know that sounds cliche, but it's true. Go to God in prayer and ask God to save you, because this is a battle of not just of the mind, but of your spirit, of your soul. So you can't do this by yourself. Ask your mama, your grandmama and them to pray for you and to get with you, pray for you, go to the priest, go to the pastor, and ask them to pray with you and talk with you and everything. Maybe you need a therapist, right? Maybe you need a life coach. I do all that stuff. I'm telling y'all, it's work, but you can do it. It's going to be a fight. You got to want it. Like my old football coach used to say, you got to want it, Times. You got to want it. Well, yeah, you're going to have to want to be sober real bad. You got to push. You got to struggle. You got to work every day. It's a battle of the mind. Yeah, it is. It's a battle of the mind. And your body be like saying, I want more of that, please. Maybe it's demanding you give it more of that. Right? Okay. No, don't give it to them. Don't give it to the body. See, it's not about feeling good. You're going to have to make some serious executive decisions. All it is to it, and it's a real choice that you have to make. The other thing is, y'all, look, and I'll talk to you about it. I'm just looking over a little PowerPoints. If you can live in fear or you can live in faith. You can live in fear or you can live in faith. I'm going to say it one more time. You can live in fear or you can live in faith. Which is it going to be? It's really that simple. It's that simple. Am I going to walk in fear or am I going to walk in faith? That's what it comes down to. Fear of everything or faith in God? What you going to do? It's a choice. Yeah. It's a choice. It's a choice. You can choose fear or faith. That's it. Ain't no other thing. That's it. Satan knows that. That's why he puts the crosshairs on you. That's why he put the crosshairs on you. So I'm going to get Joe. Oh, yeah. It's that real, y'all. Satan like, I'm going to get Joe. I'm going to take Joe out. Yeah, I'm gonna get Joe. Let me see, let me show you what I'm gonna do, he says. And then he sends a challenge your way. Could be molestation, could be a crazy uncle, crazy mama, crazy daddy, crazy sibling, whoever, you know, crazy friend, you know. It's all about seduction. I'm going to create this problem for Mr. Joe, Satan says, and then I'm going to go ahead and ruin his life. Fear or faith? It's that simple. It's that simple. There ain't no shortcuts, y'all. And, Satan likes to mess with your head. He messes with your emotion. He causes you to go way out of bounds. Why? Because it's about your life. Mm-hmm. Satan loves to mess with us, human beings. And we can't allow that. We got the ability to choose. We have the ability to choose. God gives us a free will, and that free will is like armor. See, it's like a lock and key. It keeps the devil out of our head, out of our heart, out of our spirit. It does. Through our faith in God, through being obedient to the word. What did the Lord say? Put on the full armor of God, right? That you might be able to resist the wiles of the devil. This is what I'm talking about. Tricks, crosshairs. I'm going to get Joe. Satan said, I'm going to get Joe. And he causes all kinds of hell to come up in your life to get you to invite him in. And through that drink, through the drug, there's a couple of ways he does it. And baby, it's hard to get away from that. See, it's hard. Well, let me finish up, y'all. Being out of control ain't cool. Riding in the back seat and letting Satan drive you, that ain't cool. It ain't tenable neither. You can't do it for a long time. It is very difficult. And I want to tell y'all something. The deception is real. The deceiver is real. You see all of this stuff going on in the world, wars and rumors of wars, like the scriptures say. You see all this stuff happening with all this shooting. Just this week, this is November. And 2022. And already this week, we done had 2 school shootings this week. One at UVA in Virginia and another one somewhere upstate somewhere. I don't remember where it's at. 2 just this week. Just this week. You got to know evil is knocking at your door. Evil is knocking at your door. Lord Jesus, evil is knocking at your door. And the question is, will you let him in? Will you let the devil into your life? Will you give over control? You're going to give the keys over to the devil? You're going to let the devil just come in your house? Get the keys to my house. You can come on in. Come on in. Okay. Come on in. Well, guess what? You invite the devil in, the drugs, alcohol, illicit sex. You invite the devil in, it's gonna be hell to get the devil out. Trust me. The devil ain't gonna leave just because you get tired of doing what you're doing. The devil's not gonna leave you alone. Oh yeah, when you say, "Come on in," give your keys over to the devil. Let him in your house. Let him drive your car. Let him drive you around. You got a fight on your hands. You got a spiritual war inside of your house, inside of your mind, inside of your body. Yeah. You got a spiritual war. There's no messing around. Satan know it. Some people give in. Some people give out. Some people don't give up. And they meet that challenge. You got to have support. You got to have faith. You got to fight for your life. And you can't do it by yourself. It's spiritual war. You might stop drinking and shooting dope and everything. Might be a year pass by, might be 2. You still got to fight. You got to fight every day. Okay, you slip up. I relapse. Chris, it's over. No, it ain't over. No, it ain't over. You just got to know that you got to make a choice. Am I going to live in fear? Do this dope? Am I going to live in fear? Drink this drink? Am I going to live in fear? Shoot this dope up? Take these Xanax, hydrocodone, Vicodin, Percocets, Somas, or whatever it is you into? Or am I going to live in faith? I ain't saying you don't need prescription medication for pain, but I am saying you got to be very careful. Don't overuse it. If you just got to, you went into surgery, maybe you need it. Be very sparing. I tell my doctor, I'm not taking all of that drug. I might take 1. You told me to take 3. I might take 1. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna trust the Lord. I'm gonna do something. But I can't take all of them drugs. I can't take that drug. You got another. Something that's not addictive. Because I find that the doctors will just go to the most potent stuff. They do. I'm sorry. It's true. Go straight to the, okay, you're going to use this drug for your surgery. That's cool. But yeah, what is your body doing? Your body's saying, that's some good stuff. I got to have some more. You need to leave that stuff alone, y'all. If that's the case, because you know what? Your body can't run you. And that's the devil uses all of that. Look, you know, there are a lot of doctors that will give you drugs for whatever you're dealing with in your body, right? And it can be addictive. You got to be careful. Got to be careful. You know, doctor, can you give me something that's not addictive? I can't take that. See? Yeah. That's all you got to say. Can you give me something else, doctor? I can't take that. That's addictive. Yeah. Just tell them. Just tell them. I can't take that, doctor. Give me something else. Do you have anything else that's not addictive? And they can find something. You know, they can find something. Because you don't want to give your whole, you break your will, you Satan get in there, and next thing you know is hell to get him out. It's not really worth it. See, that 5-minute high, that relief, you just got to be super careful. You got to be super careful because it can ruin your life. All right. Here endeth the lesson. God bless.